Remember last video when I did a reaction to animation and I got literally clickbaited? I didn't realize it until the end of the video, literally. But we're gonna check this out, and it's called That Night at the Museum. What happens at the night at the museum? Let's check it out.
Hi, I'm Mindy from the United States. Before we begin my tale, please like and subscribe.
No, thank you.
Always liked history and the secrets of the past. Even when I was a child, the stories of the Roman Empire and dinosaurs fascinated me. Needless to say, history was my
Okay, I genuinely hate history. I'm sorry to all the history likers, but I just don't like it.
favorite subject. But there was one thing that made history class a chore. My rival and headache, Timmy. Don't let his name fool you. He was a nightmare. You see, like me, he was obsessed with history and the stories of the past. So what was the problem? He was a total jerk, that's what. He always scored higher than me in history class, and he always had the most smug grin about it.
But wouldn't that be you? Like, wouldn't you do the exact same thing? Or, okay.
Considering our similar interests, it didn't take long for us to form a lasting rivalry.
Of
It
course.
even extended to our time in high school.
Oh, so close, man. Did that question about the French Revolution stump you?
I would have had time to think it over if you didn't make those stupid faces when the
Are they gonna
teacher
think
wasn't
so?
looking.
Not my fault that it makes you giggle.
I did not giggle.
Sure. Not like you could have beaten
So
my score
frustrated.
anyway.
And there it is, a perfect score.
Oh.
How the...
Better luck next time, Mindy.
God, I hate that smug grin. One of these days, I'm gonna wipe it off his face.
And
Yeah,
how?
getting 2 straight 100s would restore my honor. But that
too
never
much
happened.
repeating.
Due to some family emergency, Timmy had to move abroad. I decided not to say goodbye. I turned away and let him leave me behind. At first, I celebrated. No more teasing, no more childish and no more of his smug grin. But as the school year passed by, I had
You
to admit
missed
it. I
him?
missed him a bit. There was no real challenge anymore. Eventually, I did start getting back-to-back perfect scores, but it wasn't the same. My parents were so proud of me. I was happy, don't get me wrong, but it was
Okay.
just so easy.
Wait, so what does this have to do with the night at the museum? I'm sorry, I want to be patient, but you know, we're 1 minute into the video and there's no night at the museum here!
Didn't feel like an accomplishment anymore. So, the years went by like a blur. I went to university and worked to get my archaeology degree. All the while, I volunteered as a museum tour guide. It was fun getting to teach people about my favorite subject, but something was always missing. But all
Timmy.
that changed when I met Antonio one day
Oh,
after
look at
work.
Timmy.
A tall, dark, and handsome older student working on his business administration degree. At first, I wasn't that interested, but he quickly impressed me with his knowledge of history. You also study archaeology?
No, but I do dabble.
Timmy.
I'm more on the business side of archaeology. I like helping those more talented than me reach their full potential.
And you're saying I'm...
Yes, I'm saying you're talented and I want to work with you. What do you say? We can discuss details over coffee.
Well,
Yeah.
all right. After my volunteering work, though.
Of course.
The day was set, and it was wonderful. After so many years, I finally found someone else who shares my passion for history. We spent hours talking, mostly about my job in the museum.
Okay, we're getting somewhere, but that dude might be Timmy, the one that you used to hate in high school.
Something I was happy to talk about. For the next 2 months, my days were spent with Antonio. We studied, worked...
Oh, his name is Antonio! Okay, I was really wrong. I thought that was Timmy. He looked like Timmy. He kinda looked like him, though. I mean, can you blame me?
and had fun together. We were a couple in all but name. For some reason, I was never able to take that step with him. But the next day, things would be different. I was going to ask him out. That plan, however, burned up while I was working at the museum and leading my current group. And here, we have what some would call the secret map to the Akashic Records. Legend says, if you can crack the code, you can find the record buried in some desert. It's believed the record details the written language of actual angels. But that's just a myth and doesn't...
Actually, it's believed the record is the written account of all events throughout time.
Timmy, no one missed you. I didn't miss you. I don't like smug people like that. They get on my nerves.
You're thinking of something else, Mindy. You never were one for the stranger side of history.
That voice, it can't be. It's Tim?
Oh, You must have missed me if you're using my nickname.
No, I didn't. Shut up. I tried to deny it, but I had missed him. Even his familiar smug grin didn't cause me to groan. Wow, he really grew up. He almost looked hot. No, think of Antonio. I'm supposed to ask him out on a real date today. But that's when I noticed something. Timmy just corrected me in front of my tour group.
Well, she's gonna have to choose between Timmy or Antonio. I bet she's gonna choose Timmy. She's always had a crush on Timmy, even from day one. She just never noticed it. Antonio, I mean, she can still like have a relationship with Antonio, but it's like I feel like your first crushes can also be like the best ones, but they can also be your worst ones too. So it's like it could go either way.
That's not what the Akashic Records are about.
Really? Well, I'm sure it doesn't relate to the language of angels.
How would you know? Have you ever seen the records?
Have you?
What?
Admit it, Min. I got you beat once again, and I've only just come back.
Before
That's
we could
smart,
get into
Alex.
one of our serious debates again, someone entered into the equation.
Are you okay, Mindy? Is this guy bothering you?
No, he...
Oh, you must be Antonio. Nice to meet you.
You
How'd you
know
know
each
my
other?
name?
No, I don't think so. Do I know you?
Nah, but I know you. Upcoming businessman with a strong interest in history, archaeology, and people. Word gets around.
But I have never heard of you or your relation to Mindy.
I've been away for a long time.
Oh, he's saying that you're just pretty much non-existent in my mind.
Maybe you should have stayed away. Mindy
Oh.
clearly doesn't want you here.
Now, wait a
Oh.
minute,
She should be the one to decide, don't you think?
I think she has. The question is if you will comply or will I have to call security?
Didn't know you owned the place, or are you getting to that?
Red lightning cracked between their gazes. My tour group was slowly backing away, and I was at a loss for words.
Oh, that's awkward. If I was a third party, I would just sneak away. Like, I'm just gonna go. You two can argue. I'm just gonna go get a drink, get some snacks, get some crackers, eat some food, read about history or whatever if I was Mindy, and just do my thing. Like,
What in the world was going on? My salvation came in the form of my boss, who quickly ended the tense confrontation. Timmy gave me a wink before leaving. Antonio stayed with me the rest of the day, which was sweet of him, but I couldn't get what happened out of my mind. I should be mad, but despite everything, a smile was slipping. Timmy was back, and it was like he never left. We easily picked up where we left off, bickering like an old married couple. Not that I want to marry him. He was still insufferable. So because of that, I completely forgot to ask Antonio out.
I don't know how much I believe that because did you say that he was the HOT word? Did you say that? I think you said that. I think we all know you said that. You don't have to lie to us. We already know. You're just still in the denying stage. It's okay. It's okay.
Well, maybe next time. But the next time never came. Timmy showed up every day afterward. We would bicker and argue over historical facts. I actually remembered more facts correctly this time. It didn't wipe that grin off his face, but I couldn't bring myself to care that much. The fun ended every time Antonio came, and that's when the guilt crept in. I'd been putting off asking Antonio out, and I don't know why. I liked him, and I was quite sure he liked me too. Wasn't it wrong of me to be talking with Timmy so casually? For me to so easily fall back in step with another guy? It wasn't fair to Antonio, but it also wouldn't be fair to Timmy to ignore him. This cycle of guilt continued for almost a month until Antonio pulled me aside one day during work.
Bro, a month? I don't know if I would have done something because I can't say. Like, it's like, but maybe it might have been best if you talk to Antonio and see where you stand. I just think that might have been the best idea, but also I don't know about love, so I don't know.
I think you should stay away from that Timmy guy. He might be looking to steal something from the museum.
But okay, needed opinion. I think, I mean, he seems a little controlling, but I think it's probably coming from a place of care, but at least that's what it seems like in my eyes. I don't know.
What? This is Timmy we're talking about. He loves history. He would never...
Based on what you told me, he's obsessed. Worse still, you haven't seen him in years. He's not the same person you knew.
What Antonio didn't know was that Tim loved this stuff as much as
Oh.
me. If I wouldn't do it, then I'm sure he wouldn't. But the thought wouldn't leave my mind. It got worse when I started noticing things. I thought Timmy was here for me, but he did spend a lot of time just looking around. The problem was what he was looking at. Cameras, the guards, and especially the Akashic Records map? No, he wouldn't, right? He's not like
Rob?
that. But how well did I know Timmy? He'd been gone for years. Who knew what could have happened during that time?
Well, you guys only knew each other on an academic level. Okay, I take it back. I take back what I said about Antonio. He seemed a little off at first, a little demanding, but you know what? I take it back. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I take it back. But you know, this is where the name why can't I speak today? The night at the museum. Ooh, he's gonna do something. But they already know each other on a personal level, so I don't get it. But okay.
These thoughts haunted my nights, and they wouldn't go away. So I made a decision. If I couldn't sleep, I may as well stake out the place, like in the movies. If Timmy was innocent, I wouldn't see him there, and all I'd lose is sleep. But if I did find him, I had no idea what I'd do. So for the next few days, I kept watch of the museum at night, hoping and praying not to see Timmy. But my prayers weren't answered. A week in, I saw him, Timmy, picking the lock and entering the museum. My heart shattered. Timmy betrayed me? Me? Of all people? His rival? I couldn't let this stand. Thoughts of sleep faded away to thoughts of doing what I've always wanted to do, but never found a reason for. Punching Timmy in his stupid face. I carefully followed Timmy's trail through the dark museum. When the coast seemed to be clear, I picked up the pace and ran towards the room where the map was. And to my horror, it was gone. And standing not too far away was Timmy. I was too mad to think. I stormed over and punched him in the face, hard enough to knock him down.
Min?
Don't you ever call me that again! How could you? Stealing a historical artifact? Breaking and entering? Using me to get close to it?
I didn't steal it. Mindy, listen,
No, you listen! I was wrong to trust you.
Let him talk!
I don't know why I ever did. It's not like we were ever really friends. But I thought you at least understood me, that you loved history as much as me and would never do something like this. I couldn't stop my tears from falling from my face.
Mindy, I didn't steal it. Look at me. If I did, then where is it?
You must have hidden it when you heard my footsteps.
That big thing? Really, Min, you're smarter than that. Min, please trust me. You're the last person I would want to hurt.
Whoa.
So believe me when I say I would never do something if it meant it would upset you.
For the first time, Timmy actually looked dead serious. For a second, I believed him, but if he didn't steal it, then...
I guess
Antonio.
I have to deal with you both.
Timmy got in front of me to protect me from whoever spoke, but I instantly knew that voice. Antonio?
I'm sorry it had to come to this, Mindy.
Wow.
I really did enjoy your company.
I knew you were after the map. Didn't think you could bribe the guards to leave, though. I was surprised by how empty the place was.
Why, Antonio? All this time, it was Antonio who was using me.
Wow, that's a whole plot twist. I honestly thought it would be Timmy who would do this. I think Antonio would. That's crazy. They had me thinking something different.
Too focused on Timmy to realize.
Why?
Yes, you
Because
were.
regardless of which
Yes.
one of you is right about the map, I'll be rich after I sell the records.
Money? Really? Typical.
That map and the record, if it exists, belong in a museum, not in the hands of some rich collector.
It's not up to you, I'm afraid.
Before he could reach into his
Oh,
pocket, Timmy tackled him
Knock
with
him out.
surprising speed. The two started to grapple, tear, and pummel one another as I stood frozen in my spot.
Run,
What?
Min! Call the police while
What
I
are you
hold this
doing?
guy off!
I listened, not because I wanted to, but because my instincts kicked in. I didn't want to die. I didn't want to be
Smart.
dragged into this big conspiracy. I just wanted to get my degree, find a job, find a husband, and live a normal life. Husband.
You can just after the night that happened at the museum. I mean, maybe you'll have a degree and find a husband and do all of that afterwards. I mean, maybe this happened for a reason.
Steps slowed to a crawl as I looked back at my time with Tim. Despite the frustrations, I also loved my time with him. And when he left, a hole was born. A hole I thought Antonio could fill. But instead, he was just an imposter. The person I wanted to ask out person who makes me smile, it's clear who it is. He's someone I couldn't bear to lose permanently. So I ran, this time to find something to save him with. Quickly, I found the first thing that looked like it could hurt Antonio. A spear believed to have been used by our ancient ancestors.
Dude, you literally used your fist to knock what's his name? You literally used your fist to knock Timmy to the ground. Literally, like you literally punched him to the ground. I'm pretty sure you could do the same thing with Antonio. You have fists for a reason. I'm just saying. I mean,
I ran back to the two men and found Antonio standing over Tim, ready to end him.
Your father would be so disappointed in you.
With all my strength, I swung the blunt end of the weapon across his head. Thankfully, it knocked him out, but it also broke the spear.
oh
Whoa,
great,
did you, little Miss Historian, just break a historical artifact?
right?
I'd do it again for you. I actually made Tim blush. I helped him up, but I didn't let go of his hand.
Min,
Oh.
You don't have to say anything, okay? So what now?
we clean this place up, call the police, and find the map. I'm sure he didn't move away from the museum just yet.
Knocked out.
So that's what we did. The map, thankfully, was recovered from a closet.
Wait. I'm sorry, but what happened to his eyes? His eyes were like just like they're white. They're not even like there's no eyeballs. The eyeballs are literally not eyeballing. They're gone. They're disappeared. What the hell?
Tim was right. Antonio didn't have time to properly move it. After that, we were congratulated by the city and the museum for our brave actions. We were even given $10,000 for our heroics.
Ooh.
Antonio was sent to prison, and Tim joined me at the museum. But something tells me our adventures are far from done, if Tim's knowing smirk is anything to go by.
Okay, that was a good one. That was a good one. I didn't even get clickbaited this time. That was a good one. It's crazy though. I mean, Antonio. Hopefully, you be careful in prison because you know how some people be in prison. I mean, that's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. But that's that. I have no words. I'm just like, wow. They fell in love for their Timmy and Mindy fell in love for their love of historical stuff and history. It's crazy. You can really fall in love over one simple thing. Not simple, but one thing. Like you can have one mutual interest and your relationship can literally blossom just based on that one thing. It's crazy. But I'm gonna end it here for today. If you guys enjoyed the video, would like to see more, please be sure to like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys soon. See ya.
KoreyKing inspired. Bye.